ladies and gentlemen, to this week's episode of Betting the Diagonal. I'm here, your boy Morgan, Mo Watts 26, with this moron curmudgeon on the other side, Billy Football, Billy FFD, saying the Flyers are going to go 0-82, that the Islanders, after one game, were the worst team in NHL history.
I did not
We're
say
back.
that.
We're watching the Eagles-Buccaneers game right now. This dingbat over here bet on the Eagles +7, which was stupid. That was dumb. There was no reason to do such a thing. But he
Fly,
did it
Eagles,
anyway.
fly.
Terrible bet. Absolutely dumb. Billy boy, how you doing tonight?
I would be doing better if you had some confidence in me, but you're bringing down the family vibe here. I've been nothing but nice to you during your cold streak, and then now you're hot, and now you want to talk trash. So it is what it is.
I don't know if I'm talking
well.
trash. I
You
think
are.
I'm just stating factual statements that you've said.
It's still early. Plenty of time. 15 minutes, a whole quarter to go. I know you're 20 minutes behind on the game, but there's still plenty of time.
I just switched over to the Fox feed to see if it goes a little further. We'll see if that works. I'm currently looking at a frozen Steve Mariucci. So I don't know if that happened anytime recently. But we are here. We are watching my Eagles, my first favorite team, not my second favorite team, who's better than them. We are watching the Eagles play the Buccaneers right now. Tom Brady is carving up the Eagles secondary as per usual. Jalen Hurts is proving once and again that he is the worst quarterback in the NFL, that he stinks. He can't throw the ball to save his life. You have no idea where it's going to go. Nick Sirianni, my vote for Coach of the Year because he refuses to run the football. It is actually amazing at this point. But we're not here to talk about what happened in the past when you guys watch this episode, when you listen to this episode on all of your streaming services that you can find. We're here to talk about the future. We're here to talk about the games we're going to watch this weekend and we're going to bet on this weekend. Really, let's start real quick, though. How'd your weekend go last weekend?
Beautiful weekend. How would your weekend go?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good weekend.
We almost went and pulled a full undefeated weekend with us.
And realistically, I should have gotten the perfect NFL card. The Colts-Ravens game was 10-3 at the half, and all of a sudden the Colts decide that they just want to fuck it up and mess around and everything. I should have gone 6-0 in the NFL, but you win some, you lose some. That was a good game to watch. I enjoyed it. I still think Carson Wentz is better than Lamar Jackson, but that's a lie. I couldn't even say that with a straight face.
Come on,
I still think Lamar Jackson sucks, though. I'm not a Lamar Jackson guy.
You know what happened? I tweeted Lamar is washed, and then he must have read the tweet at halftime and then came out insane.
I had a reply tweet to someone that Lamar's trash, and next thing I know, I'm looking at the box score, and he's 32 of 37 for 300 plus yards. I'm like, whoa. Which is thankfully, I will say thank you, Lamar. I ended up winning my fantasy matchup this week because of you. I had less than a 10% chance of winning, and I ended up coming back and winning thanks to your heroic effort. So I applaud you of that. I'm probably still not going to make the playoffs.
I had a 98% chance of winning, and I lost.
That's tough. I told you in my one I had a 99% chance of winning against our buddy of the podcast, Mr. Jared Phillip out here, Jay Philly the Kid. I had a nice 40-point lead, and Marquise Hollywood Brown puts up 39.3 points, and I barely win. I escaped with my life. It was very close.
But the upside and downside of being in multiple fantasy leagues is that, like, I own Lamar in one, but then I was facing against Lamar in another one, and I needed both of it just to win.
It's an emotional nightmare. Emotional. I can't do it. I shouldn't do these things. I'm too emotional of a guy. I can't do the emotional ticky-tack that just tortures me.
I went 4-1. 4-0-1. I'm sorry. I should have went 5-0-1.
4-0-1.
Should have went 5-0-1, but I forgot to put the Steelers up on Twitter, so I'm not going to count it. But I did talk about it on the show. That was easy. Very easy. They almost blew it. And by the way, all these games this weekend were nuts. The Bengals game was insanity.
No, fuck the Bengals game. The Chargers-Browns game.
Yeah, that game was insane.
The best game of the season so far, by far.
I didn't get to watch any of it because they had the Bengals game on Red Zone because every 5 seconds somebody was missing a field goal. And
it was a wild week. I'm just sitting there. You had that going on. I had the Browns-Bengals game. I was watching that. It was literally every 2 plays there's another touchdown being scored. Just fucking amazing. I love that Chargers football team. Absolutely love them. They are one of my favorite teams in the league by far. I might be becoming a Chargers fan slowly but surely.
Again.
I might be trading my second allegiances. We might be leaving the Tennessee faithful and heading back out west because
And
that Chargers team.
Good thing I clipped what you were talking about a minute ago before the show, huh?
I don't even remember at this point. It's in
The
one
Titans
here.
are my team. The Titans are my team. They run the ball.
Titans, yeah. I can't support a team. I can hardly support a team that doesn't run the ball ever. That runs the ball one time with their running back in the first half. But you're not here for that. You're not here for our talk about this game, us yelling at the TV and everything about this game as Billy tries to come back and cover this game. You're here for our Week 6 picks in the NFL. We're also going to talk a little bit of a Week 7 college football. We're not going to do a big college football episode this week because, truthfully, we both hate the card. It's a shitty week for college football gambling. Billy only really has one game he's really looking at. I have a couple I'll briefly mention, but we're not going to break it down to a full episode this week. So we're going to really focus on the NFL, give you guys a little bit more NFL stuff, and we'll do a little teasers for college at the end of the show.
I liked two games, and one game the line moved like 3 points, and I'm like, I don't like that anymore. I have nothing for the show, Morgan. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'm the college guy. I have a couple college ones I like so far. I have one that's 100% a play. I have a few more that I'm leaning that I'm feeling very good about. I don't. What did I just? How did I miss something? I'm at commercial.
Dude,
like, what the heck?
Come on, you're so far behind.
I'm watching this stupid Aaron Donald invisible person commercial.
Oh, good commercial.
Anyway, let's get into our first plays of the week. Billy, do we want to talk about ones that we're on opposite sides of first? Let's get the juices flowing early.
You want to get heated right away?
We got to start early and
off.
Let's start fiery. We end the show strong. Billy and I are on opposite sides of this. I'm going to have two plays in this game. It's going to be the Arizona Cardinals versus the Cleveland Browns, a 4:05 game in Cleveland. I am on the Cardinals plus 3.5, and I'm also going to be on the over in this game, over at 49. The Cardinals historically are one of the very best teams in the early season. In the first 7 weeks of the season, from 2019 to this year, 2021, they are 14-5 against the spread in the first 7 weeks of the season. Whereas Cleveland right now is 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 home games. The Cardinals are one of the best offenses in football. Cleveland can't stop a good offense. We saw it last week against the Chargers. We saw it against Kansas City. Cleveland's defense is boasted as one of these really good ones. The only teams that they show up against are the shitty offenses out there. The Houstons, the Chicagos, the Minnesotas. So I'm really sitting there thinking, I don't think Cleveland's as good as we think they are. Their defense, it's not that impressive. Their offense has some nice pieces. They have the best running attack, obviously, in the NFL. Number one rushing team out there with 938 yards so far in 5 games. That's not too bad. As an owner of both Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in fantasy, I approve of that message. I love having that. Like I said, I think this game is going to end up being a shootout type of game again. I think this game is going to be very similar to that Chargers-Browns game last week, where these two teams are just going to move the ball up and down the field. I don't think the Browns can make a stop. Kyler Murray gives a different element on that for the offense for Arizona that they're not prepared for with a running style quarterback who can get outside the pocket. You saw Herbert in the pocket just torching them last week. Now you had a guy who has just as many, if not more, weapons on the offensive side, playing at an MVP level, who can also get outside the pocket and run around. I love that look right there. Browns can't pass with them either. They are the 8th worst passing offense in the NFL right now. They're not going to be able to keep up enough to keep this going and stay close enough to Arizona. So if you're giving me the points, I like Arizona win outright. You know what I'm going to do? A little sprinkle on that money line. Absolutely. Arizona is 4-1 against the spread in the early going of this season also. Give me Arizona plus 3.5. Give me the over at 49. I think we're hitting both of these.
You have 3.5? No, I'm asking you have 3.5?
Yes, I have 3.5.
All right, I have 3. So no, that's fine with me. I'll take the 3, and you can take the 3.5 because the Browns are going to win by 3.
No,
that's just going to happen. I'm telling you right now, and you're going to lose, and I'm going to win.
So what? You're going to take you want to push, and you're going to give me the cover.
Listen, I honestly think the Browns win by double digits. I think it's a letdown game for Arizona. I think that. Listen, you're gonna hear me out, or you're just gonna? I'll let you speak nice and quiet while I'm watching your shitty Eagles miss field goals out here. Arizona, yes, they've started great. 5-0, straight up. 4-1 against the spread. They do look like a Super Bowl contender. With that being said, I think the Browns are just going to run the ball down their throats. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, probably top two top 5 running backs. It should be illegal to have 2 running backs of that caliber on the same team. Arizona currently giving up the 5th most rushing yards per game. It's quite clear what the identity for the Browns is, and it's run the ball. You don't need to keep throwing the ball when you have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. You don't have to. They put up 40 points, and they didn't really throw the ball last week. Right? Am I right?
That's fine.
That's fair. Last week they did struggle, but that offense of the Chargers is phenomenal. Like you said before, it's a top 3 offense. The Arizona Cardinals offense is not as good as that. They don't have all those weapons. You know they don't. They don't have the tight end. They don't have the second wide receiver. AJ Green is their second wide receiver. It's not nearly as good as Mike Williams.
They have a weapon the Chargers don't have, and they have a mobile quarterback.
Listen,
that's a game changer right there in itself.
It's simple. It's simple. I leaned the under originally at the opening number. That shit got bet down 5.5 points. So if it gets bet down to 48, I do think the over does hit. But the reason why I'm really invested in the Browns is the pass rush. You have Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney coming off the edges. Yes, it's going. You have the mobile quarterback in Kyler, but he's going to better be mobile because they're going to be coming after him. That O-line is not very good. The Browns 5-1 in the last 6 games against the spread, following an against the spread loss. Cardinals are 1-5 against the spread versus a team with a winning record. Arizona tends to beat up on teams that are bad and lose to teams that are good. Give me the Browns -3, and I'll keep you updated on the total. It's like a wishy-washy thing.
I just want to throw this out there. I think you're very much overvaluing Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney is one of the most overrated players in the league. He's got 10 tackles and 2 sacks on the season. That's it.
2 sacks ain't bad.
He had the last 2 seasons before this year, between his time with Seattle and Tennessee, he had 1 sack.
Seattle can't get any pressure on anybody, and neither could Tennessee.
Still, okay. But
and
if this
Tennessee
guy's
was hurt for the entirety of the
season,
season,
he still should be able to get some pressure. He should be able to be at least somewhat disruptive for a guy who wants to break the bank constantly.
You don't need to get the tackle. You don't need to get the sack to put people under pressure.
I don't know. I think we're, like we said, we said at the beginning, this is going to be the contentious one. We're both on very opposite sides of this one. This one seems like, I think we're going to have to put a poll up for this one come game day.
Another poll? Remember what happened last poll?
Yeah. People are.
You lost miserably.
Everyone was on my side, though. Everyone's on my side.
Everybody was on your side because you're a square.
I disagree. Are you calling our viewers squares? Is that what you're doing?
That's why we're here. That's why we're here, to make them better gamblers, no? Not to give them square bets.
Sorry, I do not think you all are squares at all. If anything, I think you're rectangles. So
we can go over the record if you want.
Shut the fuck up. Moving on. Moving on.
Yeah.
We're going to continue. I'm going to talk another one that's kind of a total with this game, and I'm going to kind of stick to the same theme. Chargers-Ravens. We're going to stay on that Chargers run right there. I'm taking the over 51 in this game as well. That's a way too low of a number for these two teams. These two teams, Baltimore is averaging 27.3 points per game with this so far this season. The Chargers are putting up 28.4 points per game. They put up 47 points last week against that vaunted Cleveland defense. Whereas the Ravens put up 31 points against a pretty good Colts defense. Maybe not as good as they were last year, but their secondary is
the worst secondary in the league.
Their run attack is pretty good. Interesting thing with this, though, why I think this over is going to hit, and as much as I don't like to admit it, Lamar did a nice job last week passing the ball. He's looked a little bit better. Ravens are very much struggling to run the ball this season. Granted, their backfield is just brutal with injuries. They're running to the tune of 3.9 yards per carry right now. So that's going to mean this is going to be another shootout type of game, more passing. The Baltimore defense still hasn't looked like the elite Baltimore defense that we're expecting all the time. You're seeing the chemistry build with these receivers and quarterbacks, these two young quarterbacks, Justin Herbert with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler. You see this chemistry building week by week. Mike Williams is looking like the guy we thought he was going to be coming out of college, where we didn't see that in the beginning of his career. He's that guy now. He is that guy, dude. And
he's that guy, pal.
He is that guy. And you got Keenan Allen, who's just Mr. Consistent, Mr. Reliable in the middle of the field, can always one of the best route runners in the entire league. You go to Lamar's side, Marquise Brown has been phenomenal over his. I remember seeing. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but his last 11 games, the stat that everyone had out there these past couple of days about him. Last 11 games, he has like 11 touchdowns and over 700 something yards receiving. He's explosive. He is a weapon, and Mark Andrews is doing a very good job. I'm sorry, Lamar is doing a very good job right now finding Mark Andrews, getting him the ball, finding him in the red zone especially, which is making it easier for Lamar to be able to run around a little bit more and create some plays with his feet, create time for his receivers like Marquise Brown to get open. Having a guy like Sammy Watkins is huge for that offense. It gives them, a veteran receiver, someone who's that great intermediate area guy who can help while Marquise is stretching the field. He's just sitting there in the middle. I love the over in this game. Some trends. The over is 10-4 in the Chargers' last 14 road games. It's also 6-2 in their last 8 against teams with a winning record. On the Ravens side, it's 6-1 in their last 7 home games to the over and 5-1 in their last 6 as a home favorite. So I think we're going to see another big shootout here. I'm expecting fireworks once again. Justin Herbert MVP campaign is in full swing.
I love Herbert. I like that pick a lot.
Absolutely.
Too. I was debating whether to put that on there. I take that number all the way up to 54. Like, there's plenty of room for that. It is a 1:00 game though. So if it was a 4:00 game, I feel
West Coast,
much
it's
better.
weird. A West Coast team coming to the East Coast at a 1:00 time is always a chance of being a little sluggish to start. I think this Chargers team just has too many weapons. If they're sluggish in the passing game, okay, Eckler can run the ball. You find other ways to get your playmakers the ball, and they do a pretty good job of that.
Yeah, I think the Chargers win that game.
I do too.
I'm gonna touch upon it. It's gonna be in the teaser. I won't tell you which side yet. I'll keep you hanging, make you listen a little bit longer. But
Are you trying to tease me?
Oh, baby, you know it. I wish the Eagles would tease me a little bit more, but I do like that pick. I like that pick a lot. If you listen to FFD, I told you guys that Mike Williams was going to win you fantasy leagues. And every now and then, I'm pretty good at my job. I'm just saying. I don't want to toot the horn, but toot fucking toot. Here we are. My next pick is a pick I absolutely hate. This is a pick that I don't want to bet on, which makes me need to bet on it. Lions plus 3.5 against the Bengals. It's ugly. I hate it. Makes me love it. This is not a pick on how. It's not a play on how good the Lions are. It's how they always just seem to lose by 1. It's how they can just always just hardly win.
It's got to be tough to be a Detroit fan. Like it's
got to be
rough.
brutal. Like
I do got to say though, I would love to have Dan Campbell as my coach. The heart that he shows leading his guys. I don't care what you say about football guys. Don't cry. You got your coach crying at a press conference for you because he wants you guys to win so bad. Sign me up every single day for that.
I loved it. I loved everything it was about. I think
100%.
they're going to bounce back strong, and I think it could be a little letdown game for the Bengals after a crushing defeat. I don't think they get back up for this one. They kind of overlook the Lions. Whenever it's a 3.5, I'm going to take the dog. It's like if I had to pick one, I'm just going to take it. And with the way the Lions have been playing, they've just been in games. Like Jared Goff is known to just hang in games. Hopefully they don't get their hearts broken. I'm taking the plus 3.5. I will not be sprinkling money line because they're not going to win. They're going to lose by 1. Let's all be real. But listen, the Lions are 3-2 against the spread this year. They've been making money for us. 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 home games, and the Lions are also 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 as home dogs. Give me the Lions plus 3.5. It's a terrible pick. I love it. I love it.
I won't touch that game.
That's fair. I like
it. Like I said, my main thing that would make me interested is the fact that what Dan Campbell did in his press conference, that team's coming out firing. They want to win for him. They're going to want to win for him. And that Dan Campbell's going to win a Super Bowl someday. I don't know if it's going to be with Detroit or next coaching stop. He's going to be a Super Bowl winning coach because he's going to have guys who will play for him. He's going to be the next Bruce Arians down the line. And
it's a good call.
Put that right now.
Bruce Arians doesn't ever run the ball.
Doesn't. But you know what? Different style. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Mike Vrabel. I love Mike Vrabel too.
Yeah, no. I think Mike Vrabel's top 3 coach.
Yeah, I was a big Mike Vrabel guy. All right, next pick. This is actually probably my favorite pick of the week. And the one that I've grabbed this number a multitude of times already and I'm just running with it because I don't understand it in the slightest bit. Cowboys -3 against the Patriots. The Cowboys being just a 3-point favorite against the Patriots is, and I hate to say it, is blasphemy. The Cowboys are significantly better than the Patriots are. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, there's some popping noise going on in the background, and it's throwing me a little bit. I don't know what if you make it doing some fun things over there, but Cowboys laying the 3 against the Patriots here. Dallas is the last perfect team against the spread this season. They're 5-0. Average margin of victory for them is 10.6 points per game. First off, I'm going to roll the team that keeps it going. It's like when we had college basketball. Toledo kept it going. What was it? Dayton? I think was it Dayton this past season? It just kept going and winning and winning, covering the spread. We're going with it every single time. We will keep that number all day long and see where it takes me. With that, Dallas's offense, we know Dallas offense. It's loaded. It's talent all over the field. The duo that is Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott are leading the number 2 rushing attack in the NFL. It's averaging 172.8 yards per game. While New England is just the middle of the pack rush defense. They're 16th in the league on that side of the ball. They gave up Stephon Gilmore a couple weeks ago. Not that he was really playing much for them or anything, but their defense is clearly on a downswing from where it was previously. Who's going to stop all these guys? You tell me Dalton Schultz, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, Zeke Elliott, Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard. They don't have the bodies to stop them. You look at the opposite side of the ball for Dallas and how much we talked shit about their defense last year. Even the beginning of this season, they lead the league in interceptions with 10. Grant Trayvon Diggs has, 6 or 7 already?
6.
It's just unbelievable. They are getting the ball in the short field for the Cowboys. They're scoring on defense for the Cowboys. So there's going to be extra possessions in this game for Dallas. I think Mac Jones is going to at least throw 1 pick. I wouldn't be shocked if Trayvon Diggs picks off another one in this game. It's just unbelievable. I don't know what you just did.
Sorry. Miles Sanders ran for more than 2 yards. Sorry.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. It's a nice run.
The trend that I look for in this game, Patriots are 2-10-1 against spread in their last 13 after a straight-up win. So give me the Cowboys. I'm going to do an alternate spread on this game, too, because it's going to be more than -3.
I don't know. I don't know how much I love that. I don't hate it. In theory, I think it's a great bet. I'm looking right now to see who the are the Cowboys on bye next week?
Yes, week 7 they're on bye.
I don't like that. Don't take the alternate spread. Just take the 3. That's my advice. I'll take the 3.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
I'm just they might pack it in early. Trayvon Diggs is playing phenomenal, absolutely out of his mind. All teams have to do is just not throw his way, and it'd be fine.
It's kind of surprising.
The thing is, Belichick knows that. So
yeah, but it doesn't matter if Belichick knows. Does a rookie quarterback know it?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. We're talking rookie quarterbacks here.
My next pick. People have told me this is a bad bet. People have told me.
Have I told you that bet yet?
I don't know. You might have. But it's Bills -5.5 against the Titans. This seems too easy, therefore it probably is. But regardless, the Bills are on fire when it comes to covering games. I think that they're on a mission this year, just to beat the balls off of everybody. You saw last week they beat the Chiefs. That was the freest money in the world. This week, they're playing a team that lost to the Jets, and it's a 5-point spread. Come on now. When are they going to start putting respect on Josh Allen? Please, somebody. Air Allen, Mr. Hurdle himself. He's the front runner right now for MVP. Told you guys to grab it before the season started. Nobody ever listens to me, but look at that. He's going to continue to shine against this Titans secondary. That's horrible. Titans are currently giving up the most yards to wide receivers in the NFL, and they're allowing an average of 264 passing yards per game. The Bills D, on the other side, only allowing 174 yards passing through the air, which is second best in the NFL, only allowing 78 rushing yards per game, and third best in the NFL. They're a top 3 defense. Nobody, you can't, is Derrick Henry going to get his work? Yeah, absolutely. He's still going to get 25, 30 touches. But if they can hold him to under 150 yards, the Bills are going to win by double digits. It's not a crazy thing. Couple trends for you. Bills 13-3 against the spread in the last 16 games. 8-2 against the spread in the last 10 as a favorite, and 6-1 against the spread in the last 7 road games. Don't be stupid. Take the Bills Monday night. It's going to be a blowout once again.
So I will say, full disclosure, I don't think that's a stupid pick at all.
Thank you.
Now that I actually honestly I forgot that this was on my card, and I wasn't gonna talk about it, but I will now because you already kind of went into it. Who scored?
Hurts, baby. Hurts. Rushing touchdown again.
I hate him. I do love the Bills minus 5.5 in this game. I was gonna take that. However, I'm gonna take the total. I'm gonna take it over 54. For all the same reasons that you said and everything, I think the Bills are significantly better in this game. They are on a mission this year. Bills to win the Super Bowl, I think, is a very, very, very strong play. If you can still get it at a good number, grab it now. But I do like the over 54. Again, same, very similar reasons. Titans offense is getting healthier. A.J. Brown played again last week. Julio Jones is on track to play again this week. That is going to be huge for this team that has relied so heavily on Derrick Henry in the past few weeks. Derrick Henry the last 3 weeks is averaging 32.4 carries per game. As good as he is, a total like that is going to beat you up after a while. So it'll be good, especially for Tannehill, to be able to open the offense up. We said in the beginning of the year, if you're able to do a play-action pass based off of Derrick Henry, that is the way to win with that offense. That is what Ryan Tannehill does. That is what he's best suited for. That is what they need. Other side of the ball, Bills offense, like Billy said, is firing on all cylinders. Something happened. I think we get a 2-point conversion here.
They went for 2, baby. Let's go. Covering, baby. Covering. Backdoor, like I told you, you stupid fuck.
Woo! There's a lot of game left. A lot of game.
Sprinkle Eagles money line now where you can. And by the way, I just looked it up. Bills to win the Super Bowl as of Vegas Insider. NewJersey.com is plus 600, which is really good odds, actually.
Actually, still pretty good, to be honest. But the Bills' offense is firing on all cylinders right now. They've scored 35 points or more in the last 4 games after that dud that they threw out week 1. And I said it from the start. It's going to be, you let them get it done now and everything, and they're going to fire up. Once that Miami game, that was the get right game, and they took off right from that point. Now you see this offense with Josh Allen clicking, looking like a MVP front runner. Now Dawson Knox is emerging as a very strong tight end, a touchdown machine for that offense. They finally look to have settled on a lead back with Zach Moss instead of doing the timeshare with Singletary and Zach Moss. That's going to be huge for them because they'll have some consistency with their offense. 6 games this season, the total has gone over 54 in Buffalo's games 3 separate times. Those times that it does it, and the times it hasn't, Buffalo gets you there. Buffalo got you to 40 points against Houston 2 weeks ago, and the total was at 47. What are you going to do when you score 40? You think their team's at least going to score something. Buffalo's right now is averaging 34.4 points per game, which is number 1 in the NFL. It's going up against a Tennessee defense, which is giving up 26 points per game, which is the 9th worst number. For the Titans, while they're been undermanned, they still have performed quite admirably. They have the 10th best offense right now in the league that's averaged 26.4 points per game. That number will surely go up, adding Julio Jones back into the offense, giving them opportunities to throw the ball a little bit more. I love the over in this game. I'm excited for this game. I do like both of these teams. Tennessee is my number 2 team after the Eagles, so I'll be looking forward to watching that. I do think the Bills cover that 5.5, though, for sure.
Beautiful. I'm glad somebody agrees with me.
No, I agree. I 100% agree with you.
I've had multiple people tell me that's a stupid bet. Derrick Henry's going to run everywhere. I said, where's he going to run to? Where's he going to run? Ed Oliver,
he's going to run to the
crazy. Greg Rousseau.
Buffalo runs his ass over.
Greg
Rousseau. Let's just talk Greg Rousseau real quick. Because my boy, were we not right? We sat right there. And we sat there NFL draft night, and I remember sitting there, and Greg Rousseau came off the board to my Buffalo. And we both sat there and said, this man's a steal of the draft right now. Mm-hmm. He is going to be a Pro Bowler. He is going to be an All-Pro. He is a stud. All he needed was the right coaching, the right scheme fit to get into where he can do what he does best, which is rush the quarterback. Look at him. He's a machine. Picks off Patrick Mahomes. The kid can do everything.
Beautiful.
That was one of the most impressive plays I've ever seen by a defensive end.
if the Steelers didn't take Najee, that's who I wanted for the Steelers. But I'm happy he went to my second team in the Bills, so can't complain.
You know who Greg Russo reminds me a lot of?
Who?
Javon Curse.
Ooh,
the freak back
like
in the day, just that athlete who is just an absolute freak of an athlete who can blow past you. He's strong enough that he can go past you that way. He can run around you real quick. He has a quick twitch muscle to go inside. Javon Curse was a hell of a defensive end for a long time.
Yeah. There's gonna be some steals that happen in this draft because a lot of kids sat out, man. Let's move on though. My next bet.
I don't know. Now I'm thinking about the draft and I'm just excited. I can't wait. I need April to get here.
My next bet is Steelers. I'm going to give it out at -4.5. I've already bet it at 3 and then 3.5 because this line is moving like crazy because everybody knows that Seattle stinks. Big Ben, not been great. But there's no way that Seattle is going to get...
Big bad.
Big bad. Big Ben, been pretty bad. Big bad. There's no way Seattle's going to get past this Steelers D with Geno Smith. It's just the elephant in the room. He's just... I thought Geno played well.
He had a nice touchdown pass.
Yeah, no, he looked well.
First or second drive, he looked nice.
No, yeah, he's been sitting back there, practicing, working on his snaps. He looks good. Had a nice 98-yard drive. He looked really good, but that kind of stuff does not happen against the Steelers. Steelers have a top 10 rush defense, and the secondary, who didn't look good in the beginning, but they were banged up, is now fully healthy. And they're going to wind up ending the season as one of the top passing defenses as well. Steelers showed how great the Broncos are not. I asked Mike and Joe on the other podcast if that makes sense. Does that make sense to you?
Repeat it one more time.
The Steelers showed...
I was looking up a stat, so I wasn't...
Oh, sorry. The Steelers showed how great the Broncos are not.
Oh, 100%. The Broncos are very overrated.
Yeah.
The Broncos are not that good. I said in our preseason show that I thought the Broncos were going to be the worst team in football. I still stand by that. Maybe they won't be the worst team in football. They may not be the worst team, but they're not. I don't think they're nearly as good as everyone seems to think that they were.
No, they're not. Listen, but the Broncos D has been decent. Like people saying, "Oh, this has been great," but like they have playmakers. It's a tough defense to play against. The Steelers exposed that. Seattle secondary is all-time bad, probably worse than it was last year, if that's even possible.
It's shocking how bad they've gotten and how fast. Jamal Adams might be one of the worst safeties in football, especially in coverage.
He's a linebacker.
It's absolutely amazing. I remember last year when he was being talked about, I was like, yeah, I want him. He's a stud. And now I'm watching like, damn, I'm glad we do not have him.
No, he's a linebacker. He is not a safety. He's a linebacker. He only knows how to rush the quarterback. Why are they still throwing the football? This is absurd. Anyway,
I told you it's not
plenty of time.
You're fucked.
There's plenty of time. I think Anthony Brown might get a flag. Listen, Seattle's been giving up 305 passing yards per game and 145 rushing yards per game, both second worst in the NFL. Najee is going to eat the Seattle front seven. And then they have Claypool and Deontay to eat up the secondary. Juju getting hurt doesn't really affect the offense all that much. They just move Claypool inside and they put James Washington on the outside, who used to be a starter on the team. My only concern is why was the number so low? It doesn't make sense. Geno can't beat the defense. Lay it with the Steelers. And I'm also going to be looking at Najee's over and rushing yards. A couple quick stats. The favorite is 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 meetings between the two teams, and the home team is also 5-1 in the last 6. Steelers -3.5, -4.5, -7 doesn't matter. Take them. They're gonna win by double digits.
I don't hate that pick. Not at all. Seahawks are extremely banged up. Carson is banged up. Obviously, Russell Wilson's out 6 to 8 weeks.
What a pussy, by the way. What a pussy.
I mean, anytime you go, look, Tom Brady's playing tonight with a thumb injury.
Matt Stafford had the same thumb injury in the post game.
Right
he was like, I just popped it back in.
Yeah, 33 for 41, 287, 2 touchdowns and a pick, and he's tracking for another touchdown shortly. So, I mean, Russell Wilson, certified pussy, plain and simple. He's spending too much time around Sierra. What are you going to do?
He's just always been soft.
Yeah. Mr. Billy, I have no more NFL picks. I've already hit my 5, and I'm going to have my next one I'm going to keep in the article. So do you have another pick that you want to go into?
I just have the teaser, the 4-0 teaser, hopefully making it 5-0.
Tease me, baby.
This week was a little hard. There wasn't really a lot of numbers that make you tease through the football number or anything like that. There was 2, but one of them I don't really want to take. Was in the Panthers, teasing it down to 8.5. So I'm going Chiefs down to a pick'em, and the Chargers plus 8.5 through the football number of 3, 6, and 7. The Chargers, I think, win outright. Obviously, the Chiefs, I think, do as well. I'm a little concerned the Chiefs don't cover, but I do think they win that game. It's 4-0. Let's go 5-0. I'm trying to go undefeated this year on the teaser. That's the goal. Obviously, it's always the goal teaser every week, but
I think this is a get-right game for the Chiefs, big time.
Yeah.
But
they're just historically bad against the spread.
Absolutely,
I can't lay it.
I agree. It's amazing. Like even against the Eagles, that was one where it's like, all right, it's too obvious that the Chiefs are going to cover this. But everyone was the same with tonight, where everyone was saying Tom Brady in Thursday night primetime games, he doesn't cover.
Listen, it's easy. It's 2 minutes. 2-minute warning. Maybe they just knee it.
I don't
kick
think
a field
they're
goal.
Do that.
I think they might just kick a field goal. I do think that the Kansas City line is a little strange. It should be closer to 8 or 9.
Down on it. Everyone's down on the Chiefs right now.
It's not even that. I just think that the line is begging you to take the Chiefs. This way, Washington just I don't know. At 6.5, it's like a lot of the college games I liked. I want to bet on. Like I saw the lines, they were just like they want you to take that. They're begging you to take that. You can't do it. At 6.5, I'm just not going to do it. It's under the football number. If it's still there on Sunday, I might sprinkle a little bit on it, but give me my teaser. My teaser's been hitting. It's been working. Morgan, hit us with whatever college football you have real quick, and then let's get out of here.
Absolutely, yeah. So a couple plays I have. One definite play I already have. A couple are leans that I'm looking into a little bit more that I will play. To what extent, I'm not sure just yet. But my absolute one I absolutely love this week is number 10 Michigan State Spartans laying 4.5 against the Indiana Hoosiers. Indiana's basketball school. It's not a college football school. Not that Michigan State's more, I would say 50-50. They're a basketball school still, but they've had a good college football program for a long time. Indiana enters this game with a losing record. They're 2-3. They're winless in conference games this year, 0-2. And they're most likely going to be without their starting quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., who's going to be out with an AC joint injury. In this, on the other side from Michigan State, Heisman hopeful, Kenneth Walker. Why are you smirking?
Eagles don't have timeouts. They're kneeing the ball.
Yeah, but they're not. The clock's not. There's not enough time. They're going to have to either kick it, or they're going to just turn the ball over. They're going to have to kick it with like a couple seconds left.
Let me do the math on that.
For Michigan State and that Spartan offense, Kenneth Walker, the third Heisman hopeful. He's looked phenomenal this season. One of the most untalked about running backs in the nation. Leads the nation in rushing at 913 yards 913 yards on the season so far through 6 games that they had. He's been awesome. Indiana's defense on the run hasn't been the worst by any means. They're giving up 4.1 yards per carry, 742 yards on the ground in 5 games. What the big difference here is Indiana very much struggles to score, especially against fellow Big Ten opponents. Last matchup against Penn State in the Big Ten, they got shut out. They got no points, nothing whatsoever. They just have not been able to move the ball against their own rivals. The thought is that this could be a look-ahead game for Michigan State. They play Michigan next week, which is obviously one of the biggest rivalries out there. I don't see it. Michigan State has gotten themselves up number 10 in the nation. They need to keep performing if they want to try to just eke their way into a higher bowl game. Michigan State, 8-2 straight up against Indiana in their last 10 games. They also lead the all-time series 49-16-2. So I love Michigan State winning this game pretty handily. I think this is going to be a double-digit game, to be honest. A couple other games that I'm looking at. Alabama laying 17 against Mississippi State. Oh, yeah. Alabama's coming out firing. They're going to come up and put up big numbers against Mississippi State.
Fuck Alabama.
I
hate Alabama.
Straight against Mississippi State. They're 9-4 against the spread in that span, including a 41-0 win last year as a 29-point favorite. You telling me now I'm a 17-point favorite and I don't have to cover as much? Oh, yeah. Give me that all day. Last 3 matchups against the Bulldogs. Alabama has outscored them 103-7. Love that number right there. Bulldogs, their defense is not the worst in the nation by means, but it's not very good. They're ranked 70th in the FBS in scoring right now. However, Alabama, even with only scoring 38 points last week in a loss, averaging 48.5. Congratulations on the cover.
Told you you're going to need it out. Tom Brady literally holds the ball for like 5 seconds before actually. He's like this, like somebody getting down real slow on one knee.
Everything. Because the
He's
math
been in the
there.
league 22 years.
He was going to have to do this, but I'll give him that. This is a huge bounce back game. Alabama is going to roll over Mississippi State. Another game I really like, Oklahoma. The Sooners laying 13.5 against TCU. Man, that Red River rivalry, it never disappoints. That game was amazing. College football, there were some phenomenal games this past week. Between that Oklahoma-Texas game and the Ole Miss-Arkansas game, oh, my God, that was some good football to watch. My boy, I remember in the beginning of the year, I said him, Caleb Williams. Oklahoma fans are calling him Superman. That freshman, he is a stud. He is going to be a beast. See you later, Spencer Rattler. You're trash. I don't ever want to see your face again.
I also remember you saying that Spencer Rattler had a good chance of winning the Heisman.
I did, and I'm not the only person who said that.
I didn't say that.
I mean, the logic was there. Lincoln Kelly does a great job of having Heisman quarterbacks coming out of Oklahoma. You got to roll with it. Go ahead. I'm waiting for your rebuttal.
No, I think Spencer Rattler stinks. That's my rebuttal.
I do too. I didn't like him, but just being in that program. Anyway, the TCU Horned Dogs, they've historically had a pretty good program. They're not a bad school, in all honesty. However, this year they're just not it. They are very weak on the defensive side of the ball. They've given up 30 points per game in 4 straight against the likes of Cal, SMU, Texas, and Texas Tech. None of those teams are offensive juggernauts. TCU's quarterback, Max Duggan, he's listed as questionable for the game. It's probably best, honestly, if he just doesn't play. He played against the Sooners last year. He threw for 65 yards, an interception on 7 of 21 passing. That's not good. I don't recommend doing that. Sooners are 5-1 against the spread their last 6 versus TCU, so I think the Sooners are going to win this game. It's going to be a Caleb Williams coming out party. Get your Caleb Williams 2022 Heisman tickets right now.
I'm on the if anything, I'm on the other side. I like TCU. Letdown game after beating Texas.
I don't think so.
TCU just blew the balls off of Texas Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech stinks.
I mean, Dugan doesn't throw the ball anyway. They just run the ball. They're a run program.
Dugan's basically dead. He can't do anything. You still got to be able to run the ball. And Oklahoma Sooner defense isn't terrible against the run. Nick Benito is a pretty solid outside linebacker. Yeah. So in this last one, I'll talk about a little bit. Billy and I talked about this. He was texting me that I'm dumb for saying this. This is the Ole Miss Rebels, Tennessee Volunteers. I got 2 plays in this game. Ole Miss laying 2.5, absolutely. But the under 84. This is the highest total there's ever been in an SEC game. It might be the highest total there's ever been in a game in college football. There is no way in hell the Ole Miss Rebels and Tennessee Volunteers are going to be the team to set the highest total number. That's not going to happen. They're not going to break that number. That is a pick off of pure principle right there. I do not see this happening. Tennessee's offense, and if you watch the program, if you listen to my content and everything, I am a Tennessee Volunteers fan. That is my team. Hendon Hooker has provided more stability under center since Joe Milton's been out of there. He's looked much better. It's still not a great offense. They still don't have it as much as Ole Miss does. Ole Miss has Matt Corral, who is still in the Heisman conversation. Might be falling to our boy Desmond Ridder over here. My boy Billy is a big Desmond Ridder guy. Desmond Ridder's the only guy in college football who looks like he's about 40 years old, by the way. Mm-hmm. It's fun to look at. But they have a much deeper roster than Tennessee, which is big. Tennessee is in year 3 of a rebuild. Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin can recruit bigger name talent. Tennessee's coach, Hotzel, has came from UCF. He is going to take a little bit more to build this program. Ole Miss's offense, number 3 in the country in yards, 561.3 yards per game. Number 4 in the country in points per game, 46.2 points per game. Tennessee's defense, and I said this to Billy, Tennessee's defense isn't that bad. It has some potential on it. It can do some things. They are a middle of the pack. I said to Billy earlier, the number 45 ranked defense in FBS. Not great, but by no means one of the worst in any way. they're going to be able to get some stops. There will be times where Ole Miss does have to punt the ball, and they will keep Matt Corral out of the end zone. Some trends for this game that make me really like this pick even more. Under is 19-7 in the last 26 for Ole Miss as a road favorite. For Tennessee, the under has hit 9 of their last 12 at the home game. Give me the under in this game. Give me Ole Miss -2.5. Take it to the bank. I'll have some more for college, I'm sure, as it comes on. It's not a great weekend for the college card. It's probably going to be minimal. I'll get my 6 picks out there that I like. Obviously, the 5 here. I got to do some more digging. I've got some leans that I like, but I'm not willing to discuss them yet.
Real quick, just because we're not doing a second show, I'll talk a little bit about the NHL. Some things that have happened. It's been real tough. The big start of the season doesn't make any sense. But it is what it is, I guess. All the good teams are just losing. There's no overs are hitting like crazy, which usually is the opposite. Goalies are the only people on ice that are actually sharp, but this year it seems to be the opposite. I don't know what time this is going to come out tomorrow. There's not really a lot of games on tomorrow, but tomorrow I lean the Devils over the Blackhawks. Don't love it, don't hate it. We'll see if I put it up on Twitter. But Saturday there will be some good games. I like the Kraken over the Blue Jackets after the Blue Jackets just put up 7 goals tonight. I think the Lightning come back real strong and beat the Capitals. And then that's it for this weekend. I'll have more. I'm going to slow it down with the NHL until I get a better read on it. I've been pretty bad. But it's been weird. The NHL's been very strange. The Lightning gave up 6 goals to the Red Wings tonight. Usually that never happens. The Knights down right now. Obviously, my Islanders, they stink. Still can't score on the power play. The Sabres beat the Canadiens 5-1. Like that never happens. Things like that don't happen. But in 2022, 2021, 22 season, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Keep an eye out for the NHL stuff. I just kind of threw them out there. One of my Vesna picks is already pretty much in the garbage after letting up a bunch of goals last night and getting pulled in the second period of the game. Not looking great. Besides that, we need to start getting ready for a college basketball special. We need to figure that out when that's going to happen. Let's do like a Midnight Madness kind of thing. We'll do a nice little marathon. We'll go over some. I already have a lot of stuff that I'm ready to talk about, but I still have a couple more conferences to go through. I still haven't decided who I think is going to be Player of the Year. National Championship, I already have like 5-6 picks. I'm waiting for the Oral Roberts, big Oral guy. Can't find a line anywhere for that. If you find a line, DM me on Twitter. I'll send money to you, and I'll place that bet. They bring back all 5 starters. Anything else you want to talk about tonight, Morgan?
I do not have anything else tonight. Make sure you take a look at us. Like, subscribe, follow, everything. Heart, thumbs up, you name it, you do it. Find us on YouTube. Find us on Spotify. Find us on Apple Play. Anywhere you can get content, we are there. Listen to us. Listen to my beautiful voice. If you want to see this beautiful man with the glasses tonight, take a look at him on YouTube. He brought out the glasses for you guys tonight. You know he meant business. Come find us on those areas. Twitter, you can find me at MoWatch26. You can find Billy at BillyFFD. You can find both of us at Betting the Diagonal. We are posting picks. We're getting stuff out there. We're going to have the articles up. If you want to see some extra stuff, I will have the 2 articles for college football and NFL ready to roll probably by the end of the night tomorrow. My editor will do what he does best and make sure that I know how to spell like a good boy.
You've been good. Idiot. You've been very good.
I'm trying really hard. So we will look to get those things out. But other than that, bet responsibly this weekend. Have a good time. Let's win some money. Get ready for the next week. We'll see you guys next week.